Well, after dropping 2 of 3 in New York, the Dodgers nearly swept the Guardians in Cleveland, but things kind of fell off there at the end of the third game. Shohei Ohtani can't stop hitting home runs, but it's what he's doing outside of the games that is even more impressive. And yes, we've got to talk about Tanner Scott. Is he truly regressing, or is he just unlucky? My name's Ryan Bershinger. She's Monse Bolaños. He is Beau Benson. This is the Sick Podcast, The Dodgers Zone. Let's get into it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Dodgers Zone.
Cortez delivers. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone! Gibby, meet Freddie. Game 1 of the World Series.
The sickest LA Dodgers podcast.
Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky.
Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
It's gonna be sick.
So things looked really good in Cleveland after the first 2 games and through the third game. The Dodgers were hitting like crazy with runners in scoring position. They ended the series, I believe, at 500 or just below it with runners in scoring position. So that was great to see. The offense picking things up and carrying things well. Unfortunately, the wheels kind of fell off because Tanner Scott, who has had a couple of episodes over the last week, that is 4 blown saves now, 5 blown saves on the season, which is not great for a guy that you just gave a whole lot of money to. Monse, I want to start with you. What are your thoughts on the Dodgers? This is a 500 week since the last time we recorded. How you feeling?
Overall, good. Michael Conforto also had a home run because, last one since I don't even know how long ago. Overall good. It just we know what the problems are, and Tanner Scott has struggled, and it just sucks because it seems why did his blown saves are always like just so awful. Like, what is it about it? I don't know why they stick with you a little bit more than other blown saves, but the one against the Guardians that one was rough to watch. But overall, it's the end of May, and there's still this guy named Shohei Ohtani on the team that is doing a lot of great when it comes to what he's doing at the batter's box and beyond that. So I'm not too worried. I'm not too upset. There's just little kinks that need to be ironed out, and we're doing pretty well. We're still, in the lead in the National League West, and the Padres lost today. So it's like, we're okay. It seems like when we lose, other teams lose. I think we're 2 games behind the Phillies for the best record in the National League. We're good. It could be better, or at least it feels like it should be better. Is I think more of what we feel, that it should be better. But we're good. We're good. Yeah. Not too worried.
A funny day in the NL West, of course, with the Dodgers then. Who led much of that game, end up losing. The Padres, I think, were up like 5-0 on the Marlins at 1 point today. And then they lost that game.
Scored 5 runs, I think, in like the 5th or 6th inning, and then they went on to win. Yep.
The Diamondbacks got blown out by the Pirates.
Blown out.
And then the Giants got swept by the Tigers.
To make it more embarrassing, they got blown out in front of Livy Dunn.
Oh, good for Paul. Good for Paul. He gets to show off even more. It's something for Pirates fans to enjoy. Beau, you, and rightfully so. Let's start with Tanner Scott because it's the freshest thing in our minds. You had been banging the drum for Tanner Scott since last year's All-Star break. And I mean, again, deservedly, rightfully so. He's been the best reliever in baseball over the last 2 years, had the best reliever ERA of anyone in the league last year. And I believe over the last 2 years total, he's had the lowest ERA among relievers. He has been elite the last 2 years, and we've seen a really sudden, weird drop-off. What are your thoughts from Tanner Scott thus far?
It's weird because he's like, his peripherals are fine. Like, his FIP is where you'd expect it to be, so he's getting unlucky. But also, like, there's a lot of contact from guys that shouldn't be making contact. I think today's outing, though, like, you really need context. Like, it looks bad on paper, but then you look and infield single, walk, strikeout, and then infield single, I believe, to score those runs. Like, if anybody should wear the blame for today, it's once again Max Muncy being completely unable to play third base at a major league level. And I was talking with Rob Parker before the show, like, at some point the Dodgers do need to actually take it seriously. Like, defense does matter. Like, they are littered everywhere with negative defensive players in the field, which makes no sense for a team that is as smart as the Dodgers. Like, it truly doesn't compete. So I'm not worried about Tanner yet because, once again, as I've been saying, it is May 28th. So talk to me if he's still blowing saves in like August. But, like, he's unlucky. It evens out. Just like Conforto, like, was getting super unlucky, and it kind of has turned around over the last couple weeks here. So not worried yet.
I think because you dive into Tanner Scott's numbers, and Blake Harris pointed out the important stuff today. Those two infield singles that you mentioned, expected batting average of 180 and 90, 090,
Yeah.
on those two, and even the Nolan Jones hit. The defense was shifted over in a way where that got through. If Mookie's over closer to third, it's an easy ground out. It was weak contact to the left side that got through, and on that play too, Andy Paez slipped when he picked up the ball. Paez, who had a couple of fantastic throws from the outfield today, could have easily thrown out somebody at home on that play, but slipped when he got the ball, and that tying run came in. So, yeah, I do think that we have a lot of proof here that Tanner Scott has been a victim of bad luck. He's got an expected FIP of 240, I believe it was, which is eighth best among all relievers with at least 20 innings pitched this season. So we have proof that he is a better pitcher than the numbers have shown. However, when you do look at his peripherals, he is not missing bats as much as he used to. And that's
which is wild.
And when the defense has struggled to pick him up, as seen today, you don't pay elite reliever money to a guy who just induces soft contact. His walk rate has gone down exponentially, which is what the Dodgers were aiming for in whatever they did to tweak his delivery and tweak the things that he's doing. However, in tweaking that, they've also tanked his strikeout numbers. He's just inducing more contact. A lot of it is soft, and that's fine, but you do have to miss bats. You can't go to 2 strikes against guys like Nolan Jones and other nobodies on the Guardians who are also left-handed bats and then just induce contact. You've got to get them to miss at a couple pitches here. So I think it's a little bit of both. He's definitely been struggling, but at the same time, luck has not been on his side, and that just makes it look even worse.
Yeah.
A friend of the show asked me earlier today, Ben Fraser, shout out. He asked us to address the question of who has been the worst free agent signing for the Dodgers so far. Is it Tanner Scott? Is it Blake Snell? Or is it Michael Conforto?
Snell.
It's gotta be Snell. Yeah.
I think it's been Scott because
that's
of the fact.
Do you hate bald people?
Because I have a severe issue with bald people. Yes, Conforto has been bad, like really bad, like among the worst hitters in the majors. Bad. However, he wasn't signed to be Teoscar Hernandez. He was signed to hopefully become Teoscar Hernandez. He got the 1-year prove-it deal from the Dodgers in hopes that he's got the talent and there's stuff there that they liked in him. If they can maximize it and find ways for his hard contact to come through more often, which it's starting to a little bit. It is turning the corner right now, which is good to see. Then hopefully he can become a guy who either you maximize value with at the trade deadline or is a stalwart in the middle of that order, and then he can get a 3-4 year deal elsewhere in the offseason and really cash in. He just hasn't been that thus far, and that's what happens with 1 year prove it deals. Sometimes they don't work out. With Snell, I think the jury's still out. Yes, obviously it makes it worse that Max Fried has been phenomenal. But all we really signed Blake Snell for was to pitch in the postseason. And if he's healthy in the postseason and gives a quality start in any and every series that he pitches in the postseason, then that's fine. With Scott, it's disappointing because there is real concern that the regression is there in missing bats. And as plenty of people are pointing out, this is kind of why you don't pay relievers, because things like this can very easily happen.
Yeah.
So I think that the risk is there with Scott, but that's why I would still say Tanner Scott.
Well, unfortunately, the numbers say you're wrong. Tanner Scott still has positive WAR. Blake Snell does not. So math owns you. Respect the abacus. That with Tanner Scott, like the Dodgers should probably just be like, do what you were doing before. Like whatever we told you to do, just stop.
Mm-hmm.
Like just go back to what you're doing and get more comfortable. And then maybe we'll readdress it. But like Blake Snell wasn't super impressive before he blew out his shoulder or whatever it is he did.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we'll see when he gets back. But you know, Conforto should turn it around. And if he doesn't, then you just DFA him and you move on. But Blake Snell, would they give him a 5-year deal?
5 years.
So we're in that one for a while here. So right now it's Snell.
I agree with Beau, and I hear what you're saying, Ryan, but then this is very like, okay, then let's talk about this, what happens in the postseason. But I don't think they were expecting to not have Blake Snell. What, 180 million, 5 years, 52 million, what, a signing bonus or whatever. He should be out there. And so Michael Conforto, like you said, was signed with the hopes of maybe getting something out of him, but there was no expectation. With Blake Snell, he came with expectation. Mm-hmm. So naturally, he seems like the worst signing right now. Right now. Could that change, like you said? Absolutely. But he wasn't signed just for the postseason. That's where we want him. But the expectation was for him to be here helping the pitching staff and not having this start to the year that we're having, literally figuring it out as we go.
It's literally Chad Moriyama said this today, but it's true. Like it's literally Yamamoto and Kasperius right now.
That's it.
Like that's the Dodgers pitching staff.
Kershaw.
Yeah, you take what you get from big old 22.
Dustin May had a strong outing in
he was fine, but
there's been flashes of reliability from May, and so that's been good to see. But in terms of like being super confident in them going into a game, yeah, I agree. Those are the only two guys that you really feel super confident in. And you had just on Monday, Yoshi gave another ace level outing where the team is struggling and he comes in and stops that. Yeah. He did that last week as well, but then Tanner Scott faltered in that game and they lost that game. So unfortunately we weren't able to fully celebrate Yoshi's efforts there, but we saw it on Monday again. He's been one of the best, if not the best pitcher in the National League thus far. And that has been incredibly important because yes, I understand not having Blake Snell hurts this rotation because he's one of like 18 people who are not in the rotation right now. I get it. It does look bleak given the amount of injuries there are. So it is strong. Great to see that these pitchers have
you know what though,
their head above water. Yeah.
If we expand that question that you were asked into also last year, it's Glass now. Easy, it's Glass now. Like if there was a way out of Glasnow's contract right now, I would take it. I don't care. He's never going to be healthy. He's never going to be healthy. It's just not worth all the shit that you're going to go through every year with Glasnow now, where it's like, is he hurt or when's he coming back? And then he come back and he's out there shaking his arm again. So it's Glasnow for me personally, if you expand it to last year.
aren't all Tampa Bay pitchers injury prone? Like every single one of them. So it's just like I don't know. Beau got it though. I think if we do, yes, that may have been the one.
Yeah, listen, I understand that. I use the same philosophy when it comes to Glass now, where it's, oh well, if he's healthy for the postseason, then that's awesome to have. I get it. I understand. The Dodgers are such a good team that, and we've talked about this before.
Yeah, no,
there's the luxury
no
of like you can have these starters sit around for a while, and then eventually they're fine. Okay, let's shift gears a bit, because we talk about the pitching so much, and we kind of just circle the drain with these conversations where it's always like, they're hurt right now, but they'll be fine. You had mentioned Max Muncy, and I want to talk about a handful of struggling veterans right now, because yes, Muncy has struggled for much of this season. He got a hold of one the other night, and that was great to see. And even his outs against the Guardians were productive outs. He was getting sac flies. He was moving runners over. He had a strong series, and he did have a walk-off sac fly just last week. But when we look at where we're at with Max Muncy, I do understand that this does feel like this kind of needs to be the end of the line for him. In terms of if he does finish out the season as the Dodgers third baseman, then definitely it's going to be time to look elsewhere at the latest start of next season. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of options are out there. I understand that, people will bang the drum for Nolan Arenado, which I shamelessly did in the offseason as well. So I get it. I think it's fair to point out that Nolan's offensive numbers have really leveled out since he had a really hot start to the season. Now they're like basically what Max has. It's pretty similar. But of course, you get an elite defensive third baseman. He's not quite the defensive third baseman he was in his prime, of course, but still stronger defense than what you would get from Max. But otherwise, I don't really know what options are going to be out there right now. And quite frankly, the Cardinals are competing.
They're not bad enough to.
Yeah.
Unless Arenado comes to them and says, "You have to trade me, otherwise I'm going to stab Lars Nootbaar." Like, that's not happening.
But I don't think that's what the Dodgers need to. Yes, I feel like Max Muncy is on the chopping block, quote unquote, per se, especially what just happened that we saw with Austin Barnes and Chris Taylor. It seems like the Dodgers are realizing that, we do have to care, and we do have to worry about everybody else, not just our top three stars, But at this point, Arenado, out the door. Don't even think about him. I feel like focus on somebody who is young, can play the defense, and then maybe we'll grow with the Dodgers. We don't need to just go get a name we recognize. The Dodgers don't need that. Max Muncy isn't doing anything. And when he does do something, he does it when we're already up. He doesn't do it when it matters. I'm sorry. He does it when we're already up. So we can find somebody else and even have growing pains with a person who is a name we don't recognize, because it's just, at this point, again, Max Muncy is not delivering when it matters. And if he's not doing it defensively or offensively, we can just try. There's already no very high risk, low reward with Max Muncy. Let's try someone else who we don't know and just see what happens.
Yeah, to me, I mean, there's two options to me. It's either Alex Bregman if the Red Sox are under 500 at the end of July, and then it's Alex Freeland.
If they get rid of Alex,
I would absolutely
take a third back.
Yeah, no,
I'm not playing third base.
I told you.
If Devers wants to keep doing what he's doing, I'll happily take Devers too. I don't have an issue there. Or it's Freeland. You just bring Freeland up from AAA and let him play third base.
Yeah,
and those are your two options.
Yes.
You think the Dodgers could save Trevor Story? You think he could? You think they could fix him? Because he's been
No.
like Red Sox fans hate him right now, like absolutely despise him. And if the Dodgers convince the Red Sox to eat 90% of that contract, and then they bring him in and somehow fix him, that'd be incredible. Probably not.
Yeah, no.
You know, good on Trevor Story. He got to play in Coors for a while and then cash in on that big time. So. Congrats, Trevor. Yeah, the Red Sox Nation absolutely despises him right now. So it's what a shame. There is a sort of like elephant in the room that needs to be discussed in terms of the Dodgers offense, and that's what we've seen from Mookie Betts thus far this season. Yes, his offensive numbers haven't been great. They're fine. And he's had moments where he's come through, but he's not been superstar level. Now we know that, yes, coming into this season, he lost 800 pounds and was, couldn't hold down food for 3 weeks or whatever. And he miraculously didn't spend any time on the injured list, just kind of played through it, just showed up after not eating anything for 8 days, and actually played pretty well to start the season, and looked like everything was fine. The positives with Mookie, he's played shortstop pretty well this season. If you look at his defensive metrics, he's among one of the better shortstops in the league, which is great to see. However, his athleticism is declining. In fact, let's play a game right now. Mookie Betts is currently in the 35th, 33rd percentile in sprint speed, which is unlike Mookie because, of course, for much of his career, he's been considered very much a five-tool player who is a threat on the base paths. Now, he hasn't really been a threat on the base paths for the last couple seasons. Of course, that speed has declined, but it's gotten to a surprising level in which his speed has declined. So now let's play a game. Who has a higher sprint speed?
No.
Guys, who do you think has a higher sprint speed between Mookie Betts and Aaron Judge?
Oh, Judge.
Don't tell me. It's Aaron Judge.
It is Aaron Judge. He's at 26.7. Mookie is at 26.6. I'm just going to tell you right now. He's at 26. That is 26.6 feet per second. Which, it's 90 feet to the bag, so it's taken a little over three seconds to get to first. But these decimal points here, they matter. Okay. Let's see. Mookie Betts and Kike Hernandez. Who do you think is faster?
I'm going Mookie.
It is Kike Hernandez. Kike is faster.
This is bad.
How about Paul Goldschmidt, 37-year-old Paul Goldschmidt? Who do you think has a higher sprint speed?
No, Ryan, don't tell me that. Is it Paul?
Well, it's a trick question. They're tied. They move at the same speed. Mookie Betts and 37-year-old Paul Goldschmidt have the same sprint speed to first base.
Damn.
How about Vlad Jr.? Okay, no, younger.
If it's not, if the answer is not Mookie, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore.
Guess what? They are tied. Mookie Betts and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. move at the same speed. And I think that pretty perfectly contextualizes where we're at with Mookie Betts so far this season. I think this really is a byproduct of what he went through to start the season.
Yeah.
Because the numbers just aren't there all around. Again, he's been okay. He's been fine. And he's had some moments where he's absolutely been producing. But as a whole, it's not Mookie Betts level. Now, I don't think that this is just who he is now. But we will have to see him turn a corner at some point in order to fully believe that it's not who he is now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we'll kind of just keep an eye on that. Hopefully the speed comes back a little bit. Again, he's not the speedster he once was,
No.
but he should be faster than Paul Goldschmidt and Vlad Jr. These are big boys playing first base, and that is Mookie Betts is moving at the same speed as these guys. Yeah.
Oh, man, you made me sad with that, by the way. You made me sad with that information.
Well, can we mention something in the greater baseball world,
sure,
which kind of relates to the Dodgers because we did play the Mets this weekend. How vindicated is this show in the Juan Soto thing? He is 100% like what do you think? No, he's like 36, right?
No, yeah, but he's sad. He made the wrong choice. He's sad.
His bat speed has dropped from 75 miles an hour to 73 miles an hour. So that's a 2 mile an hour drop on his bat speed, which is what happens as players age. So looks like once again the Mets we're gonna have Juan Soto Day replace Bobby Bonilla Day pretty soon here, it feels like.
Guys, who has a higher sprint speed, Mookie Betts or Juan Soto?
I'm gonna say Mookie.
It better be Mookie.
Yeah, it's Mookie. We're fine. It's like it's like almost by a whole foot.
What? Soto needs a walker to get through the base paths. What do you?
Yeah, Soto's at 25.8. However, Soto is faster than Rafael Devers.
Wow, there you go.
Soto.
That's fine.
Soto's faster.
Rafael Devers is just hitting home runs though, so he don't care.
Devers gets paid to hit and play third base, not run.
Yeah.
No, he's not. He doesn't play third base or first base. Just hit.
Yeah. Now he's settled into this role, and you damn it, don't ask him to do anything else at this point. This is let's get to some positivity, huh? Let's lighten this because this has been largely negative. Monse, there's one player that deserves to be highlighted. Can you please elaborate for us?
I feel like in all of this with the Dodgers, there's a few times we take certain players for granted because we're surrounded by stars. But Will Smith, in the last 10, maybe 12 games, he has been so good. He was leading the National League with on-base percentage, followed by Freddie Freeman, by the way. He has, I think, hit in out of 10 out of the last 11 games, and it goes unnoticed because he's not the names that people look for. But Will Smith has been so good recently for the Dodgers in the last couple of games offensively. We already know he can play defense right there as a catcher, but I feel like we haven't given him credit, and I want to give Will Smith a little bit of credit for what he's done. He's batting .338 behind Freddie Freeman. Like, those are our only two guys right now batting, I think, 300. Maybe Teoscar is in there too, but like Will Smith is up there with Freddie Freeman, and nobody's talking about it. Will Smith, we do notice.
Will has been phenomenal. And especially in this Cleveland series, like the power's coming through again, and he's really contributing like crazy. And he's probably, he's been the best catcher in baseball. He's probably got the best batting average of any catcher in baseball. I want to prepare everyone. We're going to have a really annoying summer ahead of us because the amount of people that are going to insist that Carson Kelly should start the All-Star game over Will Smith is going to be nauseating. This is, of course, Carson Kelly, by the way, is on the Cubs now, for anyone following. Carson Kelly he's played 10 fewer games than Will has, but he's hit 9 home runs. And so people have been freaking out over the power numbers he's been putting up. And look, he's having a solid season. He's hitting .298. He's got a .422 on base. Will Smith is higher in both of those categories.
Didn't like 4 of those home runs come in one game from Carson Kelly too? Like,
I believe he did have a 3 home run game.
He had a 3 home run game.
So that diminishes it for me.
It's going to get annoying. They have the same WAR, which is pretty wild. And because of the fact that Kelly's played 10 fewer games, his slugging is higher, his OPS plus is higher. But it's because it's heavily inflated by the 9 home runs there. Of course, as a whole, obviously, Will Smith is the better player. Will Smith is deserving to start the All-Star game this season.
Absolutely.
But Cubs fans are going to get obnoxious about Carson Kelly. So
that's fine.
just
that's
be
fine.
prepared.
The thing about Will Smith for me is he is a sack fly demon. Like if there's a runner on third and 0 or 1 outs, he is going to get that runner home. It doesn't matter. Yep. So shout out to Will Smith.
Yeah.
And he slapped Chris Rock. So
they still haven't invited him back. Why not? Why not?
It's racism.
Let's I want to quickly touch on Clayton Kershaw from what we've seen. Of course, his start in New York was shortened because of the rain. Today it looked rough. The first inning looked like it was going to get bad.
A little bit.
And then he settled in very nicely. Was able to work out of jams. Had his breaking ball working. His curve and his slider were working today. Really great stuff to see from Clayton today. And shout out Lou Trevino, who may be the new Dodger reclamation project that is going to work. Because they figured it out. They said, "Hey Lou, you've thrown this sweeper a couple times. Just do that like half the time." And it's been working so far. So it looks like Lou Trevino has locked up a spot in the bullpen for now. But yes, shout out Clayton. He's inching closer to that 3,000 strikeout marker. And,
yes, he's
great to see.
26 away.
Beautiful.
26 away. He got 3 in today's game, so 26. But and he also got out of those jams. Give it up to the defense also with that double play when he had runners on 1 and 3rd, first and third. So it was good to see because you're right. For a second, I was like, oh no, he's not gonna get through this. But 5 innings later, only 1 run. I'll take that.
Yeah.
4 hits, was it 6 hits? 6 hits or something like whatever. It was 1 run. It was nice to see.
I legitimately believe that Clayton Kershaw has a chance to be like the best number 5 starter in baseball's history. Like the idea that Kershaw would not figure out a way to adapt to only being able to throw like 91 when he puts he puts the power of his ancestors into his pitch and he throws 91. But like he can absolutely figure it out as he did today.
Yeah.
And if it didn't rain against the Mets, he probably would have gone 7 strong in that game because the Mets suck. Like it's fine. That's the last thing I'll say. Baseball needs to either be more willing to call games because I believe the Dodgers had a lead in that game and then it started raining again. And it had already gone official. If it starts raining and the game's official, it needs to be called. Just call the game.
Just
either baseball needs to do that more often or East Coast teams need to be forced to have domes. I'm sorry. No more rainouts in May are ridiculous. I'm sorry that you live in the stupid part of this country, but either have a dome or forfeit games that are rain. Like it's so stupid. It's so dumb.
It's annoying. For the players have to be so annoyed. How long do you wait for? 3 hours, hoping that it's going to end? The fans, I'd be like, I'm out. I am out, bro. Like,
I think that game started at like 5 o'clock our time and then ended at 1 or something. Like it's stupid.
Yeah, that game went until 1 a.m. local time.
And then
that was a
it
mess.
messes you up the next day. It throws off everything. Like it's so dumb. I hate the way Major League Baseball approaches rain.
And we're just trying to help Mets fans here too. By the way, there are people
less chances to see the Mets.
We're there until 1 a.m. in the rain, and then lost the Mets to watch the Mets lose. And then you don't have to watch the Mets as much. But the Dodgers end up winning that game, so that was a good time. That
was a good one.
And we got to still watch it.
That was the Luis Garcia
Friday night
game.
and not unreasonable time for us. Yeah.
Never forget.
He's still there. He's here. He's on the Dodgers. He is in their bullpen. Hey, speaking of bullpens, let's wrap it up with this. This is something I teased off at the top of the show, and we have gone almost 35 minutes and still haven't paid off the teams. And so, my man, when you tease it, you got to deliver. This is Shohei Ohtani threw to actual hitters in New York. He was, first of all, I think what was obviously the big thing is it's feeling real now, which is great. Seeing him to actually pitch to two hitters was incredible. At one point, he threw what I believe was a reverse splitter, which apparently he's kind of learning from watching Yoshi, and he's adapting and using Yoshi's splitter techniques for himself. And it was a pitch that moved so wickedly towards the batter, like it went towards the right-handed batter, so it went away or inside. And whoever was it rushing catching for him, couldn't catch it. Like it moved so insanely that it was impossible to catch. And according to Japanese media, he's also working on a reverse sweeper. So the return, it's going to be so insane because he's going to whip out pitches that we've never seen before. This is just remarkable. He's going to start game 1 of the World Series, throw 8 shutout innings, and then hit 2 home runs, and then we'll close game 4 to finish off the sweep of the.
My only concern is that it's getting to, well, it is at the point where it's his return is a necessity and not a luxury.
Sure.
And yeah, and also just to clear this up for anybody that maybe old and not paying attention, the Dodgers, there's a rule that was put into place like years ago where the Dodgers don't have to sacrifice the DH spot when Ohtani pitches. Like it's something that's been going on. It's literally, I believe, called the Shohei Ohtani rule.
Yeah.
I heard people talking about that. So yeah, it's not a special treatment thing for the Dodgers. Like it's been around for a while, at least like 5 years.
That's good. Thank you.
I know we talked about this last year, like, oh, you have to let him pitch when he's ready. But I think it's out of necessity, and I hope they're not pushing anything, because the fact that he's already off to a better start offensively than he was last year, it is, I'm not going to lie to you, I am a little bit like, I know we need him, but are we going to do that? Like, I don't know what the right decision is, but the fact that he's hit 13 homers in the month of May, there's 2 more games left. If he happens to hit another 2, he would tie Dodger records with Dodger greats like Duke Snider. Like, he's like, the fact that he's still doing shit like this is quite incredible. And I really hope that they are not doing it because of necessity, but it feels that way. And it would really suck to like slow him down offensively to get him on the mound. But I know they need it. I don't know. I'm more confused on that than I was a year ago.
I think it sounds like they're handling the process fine. Dave did say the other day to not expect to see him before the All-Star break. And that's pretty much the right timeline, because then if you're getting him on the mound late July, early August, and ramping him up to the point where he's potentially comfortable even starting in the playoffs, that would work pretty well on that timeline. I would imagine they would try to, get him in as a starter as soon as they could to build him up, with the idea of having him start in the postseason. I do think that will be the point where you'll kind of see them operate based on necessity. Because let's say that Ohtani is ready to pitch in August, but Glasnow and Snell are back and they're both perfectly fine. Yamamoto hasn't had any issues. Sasaki's back in the rotation. Let's say all of these guys are at full health.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Sasaki.
Yeah, Roki Sasaki is still around. If all of these guys are all good to go, and even like if Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin are still cruising, Emmett Sheehan, I believe, is throwing a rehab, which means that he will actually make an appearance again for the Dodgers soon. I think once we get closer to the point where actually Ohtani is ready to pitch in Major League action, then I think that's when they make the call based on like, all right, do we need to bring him back as a starter right now? Because if it's August and he's still not built up to like 5 innings, then you kind of just roll with him as a reliever at that point, right? Because he would be elite out of the pen in the postseason. But it would be more fun to see him as a starter, and of course, like we know his ability. And
I mean, I think part of it too is also what he wants to do.
Yeah.
Because the Dodgers are very much beholden to Shohei, I think, the way the Lakers are to LeBron, where if Ohtani says, hey, I want to pitch and I want to pitch now, they're going to say, yes, sir, right away, sir. If you'd like, that's fine. So, but he's also doesn't seem like the kind to make a big deal about getting his way. But I do think if he wants to pitch, they're going to say, yes, absolutely. Let's get you out there.
I agree with you, Beau. I also think that Ohtani would not put himself in that position if he actually wasn't fully ready.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing.
You know what I'm saying? He would not do it. He would only say that if he's like, no, I'm good. Trust. Because his work ethic.
Yeah, you know the Dodgers, they're going to do everything they can to like obfuscate and everything. So if Ohtani feels like he's ready to go and he wants to get out there, he's going to get out there. I will never listen to the Dodgers and their opinions on medical issues. I don't believe them. I will never believe them.
All right. Well, yeah, really exciting times. Again, we're not going to see Ohtani pitch until after the All-Star break.
When is that?
I believe that. Mid-July?
Something like that.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's the headline. Ryan Bershinger guarantees Ohtani pitches after the All-Star break.
Hell, he's gonna pitch at the All-Star game.
There we go.
Oh, that'd be sick.
He makes his return to the mound in the All-Star game.
Exactly.
Rob Manfred would beg and plead for the Dodgers to allow that to happen. I'm sure, and they would not. They would not. That would not be allowed. All right. Well, I think that just about does it. I think we've got a huge series with a World Series rematch coming up this weekend. Oh, by the way, so the Dodgers heading back to New York, but this time,
will this series be more competitive than the World Series?
Might be.
The Yankees would hope.
Might be.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, let's see. They're not going to get Yamamoto.
What's the?
Right?
Yeah, no.
No, he pitched Monday.
They do get Yamamoto.
Yeah,
let's set the over under at. I'm going to say because these are all going to be national TV games, right?
I think Friday night is Apple TV.
Yeah. So kind of.
Okay, so yeah. I'm going 7.5 at the line for actual replays of Freddie's Grand Slam throughout the weekend.
Well, so yes, Fox does have the Saturday game, so Fox will milk the hell out of that one because that's their highlight and they can do that. Apple TV, they probably will as well because if they're not playing highlights, they have to their broadcasters have to talk to fill the time instead, and that hasn't been great for Apple TV.
It hasn't worked out.
They should probably just play highlights. And then Sunday night is on ESPN2. By the way, old friend Ryan Yarbrough is starting for the Yankees in that one.
Nice.
That is Yamamoto versus Ryan Yarbrough.
Okay.
Which I believe Yarbrough had an excellent start for them recently. And that's weird. He's now become a starter. I mean, okay, it was against the Angels, but also the Angels own us, so I guess I can't really make a joke out of this.
You're not allowed to.
He 6 innings, 1 run on 2 hits against the Angels.
And Chris Taylor.
Oh yeah,
Shut down
that's
Chris Taylor.
by the way. Yeah, yeah, that's Chris Taylor. Has he gotten a hit yet as a member of the Angels?
I don't know, guys.
You're so mean.
Hey,
So
hey,
mean.
You want him to succeed.
I do. I want him to succeed.
You. I'm finding out.
At least he didn't go to the Giants.
That's true. Yes, 100. Look, I said this on Twitter, and I mean it. He doesn't have to move, and that's great for him. Like that's he gets to just sleep in his same bed. Like that's a huge deal. I don't know where he lives, but I'd imagine it's still in driving distance to Anaheim.
No. So the no, he does not have a hit with the Angels yet.
It's not.
He does have 4. He does have 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He has 4 strikeouts and 6 at bats. So
nice.
Yeah. No bueno.
He's still Chris Taylor. Taylor. What?
I mean, Joe Adell would have 6 strikeouts and 6 at bats. So you know,
Yeah.
there's a step up here. Like, it's fine. Listen, and there was like a highlight the other night where there was a ball hit to center and he kind of took a weird route and it got over him. But also that was it. Nobody was going to catch that. It was it was hit hard. It was over his head. Give the man a break. Hey, what are you gonna do? Yeah,
somebody would have caught it.
Yeah, it's fine. It's what are you gonna have Mike Trout play center field? What? You're not doing that anymore. That's kind of crazy though that they would rather roll out Chris Taylor than Mike Trout in center field at this point. That's I guess they're just protecting.
I think Mike Trout's hurt.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, but he wasn't playing center when he was healthy though. I thought
no, they had
I
already.
don't think he is.
Yeah.
So we got Max Fried against Tony Gonsolin on Friday. Landon Knack versus is Tyler Warren. Is that his name?
Oh my
Will
God!
Warren.
I cannot stand Google AI. Jesus.
I know Tyler Warren's a person. Will
I was
Wade
gonna
is-
say I
Will
was gonna
Warren,
say
not Will Wade.
I was gonna say the Angels could have Andy Pages playing center field, but Artie Moreno got impatient.
That's true.
But then
That's true.
I got pissed off because Google AI is trying to say that it was part of the Mookie Betts trade, and it wasn't. The Angels trade was never part of the Mookie Betts trade.
No.
Yeah.
They're not related to each other at all.
Betts.
Yeah, it's so
Thank you, Google
stupid.
AI.
But yeah, anyway, the Angels could have had Andy Pages, but they couldn't wait 5 more minutes. Right.
Right.
Although I do think the Dodgers would have ended up with Ward in that deal. So that would have been pretty funny.
It was Luis Rengifo was there.
It was Stripling, Pages, and Jock for Rengifo and a player to be named later. But the player to be named later was Taylor Ward.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, still worked out. That's still.
No, it's fine.
Last time.
I'm not going to complain.
Corrections and retractions. Tyler Warren is, of course, the new tight end of the.
Yeah, he's the Colts tight end. You idiot.
He is not a pitcher for the Yankees. That is Will Warren, and Will Warren will be pitching Saturday night.
When does Colston Loveland start for the Yankees? When does Matthew Golden start for the Padres?
Yeah, he would probably be pretty good.
Yeah.
Put him in the outfield.
Is Omari and Hampton making a start for the Cardinals?
No.
He'd be a solid third baseman, I would imagine. Okay, let's we got to stop. All right, so
I'm done.
So next week we're gonna get back at it. A rematch with the Yankees. We'll see if the Yankees are able to steal away the World Series from 2024, because that's how
the games 6, 7, and 8, baby.
Yeah, if the Yankees sweep the Dodgers, then it is now a 4-4 series, and then we will have to figure it out from there. So for Monse Bolaños and Beau Benson, my name is Ryan Bershinger. This is the Sick Podcast, the Dodger Zone. Be sure to follow us on YouTube. Follow the podcast on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. So until next time, domo arigato, everyone. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast, The Dodger Zone, on YouTube, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.